Hello, this is just an instructional video for Mrs. Porter's class regarding sentence structure and kind of how things are going to be working for this year. So when you're answering questions, I'm going to expect you to be answering them in a sentence form. So you're going to need to write a complete thought instead of just maybe the noun or the verb that is in your thought. So let's practice this. We're going to work on it a lot. Everyone who is watching this video is capable of doing this. Some of you do not like to use your working stamina for the purpose of writing because it is more difficult, and that is understood. However, we want to make sure that whenever we're able to give responses that they are in sentence form and not just 1 to 2 words. All right, I think that's it. So we're going to talk about what that simple sentence looks like. It does not have to, sorry, this is kind of shaky. I'm not trying to do that to you. But it is important, especially as you are getting prepared to transition and just be good communicators. Speaking and writing is very, very important. All right, so in every sentence, let's talk about the couple of things that are required for sentences. We need a capital letter at the beginning of every single sentence. It tells our reader, especially whenever we're typing things, it really just tells our reader that that word carries some weight, whether it is some, a proper noun, so it's the name of a person or a restaurant, or it's the beginning of a thought. That capital letter is what signifies that to the person who is reading our response. So if I am going to write just a simple sentence, like I want to write, I love learning in person. The first word is a pronoun, so I would capitalize it anyway, but since it's at the beginning of the sentence, I am going to make sure that it is a capital I. Then I'm going to leave a space. So if you're on the computer, you're just leaving one space with the long space bar, or if you are in person, you're leaving about the size of a letter. So they say a finger space. Depending on the size of your writing, that's going to depend on if that's a finger space or not. But we're going to leave just a little bit of space, and then I'm going to put the word love. I'm going to do my best guess spelling. I know how, hopefully by my age, I know how to spell the word love, and you probably do too. L-O-V-E. I'm going to leave another space. In person, I'm taking that as one word. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm not going to leave any space. So I'm going to leave a space after love, and then I'm going to write the word in person. I'll pull the word apart just by with the sounds that I hear, and I'll write those, and that will allow that will allow my reader to see my thoughts. So I'm like in, two sounds. And so I come up with the letters that I think might make those two sounds. As long as you're using your knowledge of sound patterns, your reader is going to be able to, even if you don't spell a word right, understand what word you're trying to say. And then we have person is also part of that word. All right, I know that 2 letters a lot of times make the sound. So I have p-er. I put the ER, which is the most common combination to make the sound. And then sun. Good. So I wrote in person. Now I'm to the end of where I need to write learning, and that is not enough space for me. If I was not to the end, I would not skip back. But I'm going to go ahead and skip back here to the other side, and we have learning. We have I know how to spell it. You may not. That's fine. You're going to do your best guess. And then we have ing. Learning. Good. I'm going to put a period because I'm making a statement. I'm not screaming this. If I was, I would use an exclamation point. And it is not a question that I have. I'm positive that I love learning. I'm doing okay with online learning this time around, and I hope you are too. but it is a little overwhelming. So you're just going to do your best. So 3 things that I'm going to expect on every single sentence is a capital letter, space between words, and punctuation at the end. Right, we're going to write a word or a sentence and use the exclamation point. So right now you could be using your whiteboard to come up with your own sentences to write along with me, or you could just be watching the video. I don't care which one you're doing. So we are coming up with a sentence with an exclamation point. An exclamation point means that you're saying it with a lot of meaning. So you heard my dog barking earlier. Maybe I wanted to say to my dog, no barking. So I use a capital N and a small O for the word no, because I need my capital letter. I'm going to put my space and then I'm going to write barking. Sound it out. B, R like starts, combination, K. Good. And then our ing at the end. Now, I'm giving a direction, that's for sure, but I'm going to be firm and I want that to be conveyed in my writing. So I'm going to put my exclamation point. And that lets you know that I didn't say no barking. I said no barking. Like there was more emphasis on that. Oops. Sorry, I have things just knocking over and what have you. All right. Now let's talk about the question mark. There's only 3 kinds of punctuation, so that we're going to use at the end of sentences. The question mark is what we use to tell our reader that an answer is either coming or they need to think about an answer in order to respond to our communication or to get the most out of what we're writing. So if I'm writing you a letter, I might want to use a few questions so that you have a reason to write me back. Or if I am on a website or something like that, I may need to ask a question because I don't understand to clarify the meaning of what else is there or what have you in the text. Oh yeah, or a text message. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so what is a question I might have? Oh, I know something that I think about all the time that I don't know the answer to, but I still think of this question. And I try to think from your perspective of what the answer might be. So how is online learning going? That's my question. Yeah, I'm going to write the whole sentence. It seems like a lot, but it is really not. How is online learning going? 5 words. So we're going to just write that first word, how. It's a sight word. We leave a space, then we have is. We leave a space. Online. Now we could slowly sound these out, but we're not doing spelling right now, so I'm not going to do that. Then we have learning. I think I can fit it. And then we have the word going. Then I'm going to put my question mark. Normally, whenever you use a question mark, you're going to start with a question word, like how, do, what. Something that you need to find out the answer to. All right. Well, we are going to be talking about today in science about questions. So we'll be doing a lot of questioning. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember all of our responses. We're going to be working on using those sentences. Sometimes we're typing them and sometimes we're writing them out with pencil and paper. But we should be able to respond, especially during our academic times, in complete thoughts, whether that's in writing or in person. Like that's all of our goal. So we are working on that sentence production, and we want capital letters, spaces between words, and punctuations to let our readers know when our thoughts are starting and stopping. Okay, well, for this week, or I mean, really going forward, that's 3 things that are kind of non-negotiables for Mrs. Porter. When we're writing a sentence, you need to be checking for those 3 things. So no matter what level you are at, if you are one of my kindergarten students, one of my 1st grade students, or even one of my 5th grade students, you know, who is really getting ready to transition to the middle school, you have to work on that sentence production. All right. Have a good day.